Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Faithful Dogs podcast. I am Tyler Johnson. I am joined by my awesome partner, Mr. Jack Robinson. Jack, how we doing tonight, man?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. It's kind of lonely in here, though. Only two of us for tonight's show, but we'll get it done. We'll get it done.
Yeah, for sure. It is a little lonely. Zach DeFranco, who normally is obviously a part of the Faithful Dogs podcast, is not feeling very well tonight. So hopefully he feels better soon because we need him next week for more draft talk. But Jack, you and I are going to hold it down tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. This is going to be the first, and I say first because there will be another
There's gonna be more.
episode where we will actually have dueling mocks. But tonight is going to be the first Faithful Dogs podcast mock draft that we are going to have. So, how this is going to work, we are going to use Pro Football Focus as our database. It's got Browns grades, snap alignments, everything you need because we are subscribed to Pro Football Focus. So, we're going to walk you guys through everything, but we want you guys in the chat, comment your draft selections, comment players you want to see us look at and potentially draft. So, interact with us in the chat. And those of you that are joining us on Facebook or Twitter, first off, thank you so much. But we recommend coming over to the YouTube channel. You can do that by just clicking the link. It's going to be in the description. It'll take you right to YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are brand new to Network 216. By the way, free to do. And it's going to help you be eligible for any giveaways that we have available. We've had all kinds of giveaways on the YouTube channel. We're going to have another one when we reach 2,000 subscribers, and we're at 4,200. So once we get there, the sooner we get there, the sooner we can have a giveaway for you guys. So be sure to subscribe and drop a like on today's video. What that does, that helps the YouTube algorithm grow, which is really important to help Network 216 grow. Jack, before we get to tonight's show, we do want to take a second and hear from our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy.
What's up, everybody? We know that daily fantasy never stops, and Network 216 is proud to be a partner with Underdog Fantasy. Very simple to use. All you have to do is go to underdogfantasy.com, and you will just click the sign in button. You'll create an account if you haven't done so already. If you've not created an account, it'll ask you to enter code 216, and they will double your first deposit up to $100. Underdog Fantasy, live draft lobbies that you get to compete with you and your friends. It's no salary cap like DraftKings and FanDuel. You get to go to a draft lobby, pick the players you want, or you can do daily pick'ems, which give you access to all the NFL and NBA games for you to make your picks every single night. Again, go to underdogfantasy.com or use the Underdog Fantasy app on iOS or Android. Use code 216 to double your first deposit up to $100. Sign up today.
And Jack, I think it's time to get started. So let's pull it up here. Here is Pro Football Focus. This is going to be, like I said, the site that we are going to use for tonight's mock draft. The Browns do not pick till pick 74. It's a long time. That's for sure. There's no doubt. Mr. CP, thank you for joining us. Go Browns. Keith Nash, thank you for joining us. Dog check as always. Already some good comments. Jack Campbell, no matter what. Draft Tyler Scott. Rural Browns fan 32. Good evening. Good evening to you as well, sir. It's gonna be a lot of fun, Jack. First off, before we make a pick, Jack Campbell will not be there. I have done this thing 100 times, and he is not there. And for them to trade up, it would take
a lot.
It would take probably 3 picks and 1 next year if they want to get up to where Jack Campbell's going to go. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be taking Jack Campbell, but I am with you. I would love it. Mr. CP, I would love to see it. Zach Miller, go Browns. Yep, go Browns, baby. All right, Jack, here we go. Let's get into it. So, this is going to go quick. Jack, do you want me to pause it around the 60s and see about a trade, or should we just, for this exercise, just go through all the picks?
I think just for this first, obviously this is the first one. Let's just let it run to 74. Let's just see just how much damage gets done beforehand. That way we can really assess kind of like what the Browns situation is going in, just assuming that there's going to be no trade ups.
Okay, here we go. So we're going to start going really quick. Obviously. And for some reason, the board is glitched and it's not.
It can't keep up.
Oh, all right. Here we are. So, Jack, we're at pick 74 here. And first off, the thing that catches my mind, I'm just telling you what catches my mind because I'm not saying they are going to draft one this early. Last year, we took Martin Emerson Jr. with our first pick.
Yeah.
Cornerback is a sneaky need from the standpoint they still want a guy in the slot. Newsome doesn't want to be that guy. I doubt Emerson is really a slot, being 6'3". There are some guys here. Travius Hodges Tomlinson is a guy. If the Browns were looking corner, Garrett Williams, I don't think that is someone that they are particularly interested in. So corner, I think, is a sneaky need here. I could see him going best player available too. And I brought it up and I got crushed for it on Twitter. Jack, I'm telling you, if Devin Achane is there, this is a keyword if, it might be difficult for them to pass. Because you have to look at this from Andrew Berry's point of view. He is not only drafting for the present, you ideally don't want to be filling needs in the draft.
Yeah.
You don't, because you're banking on a rookie to contribute right away. You are looking towards the future. And whether we want to talk about it or not, Nick Chubb will not be a Brown forever. It's the reality, and it's very well possible he might not be here after the 2023 season. Andrew Berry is going to take a running back in this draft.
Oh, we know
now
that.
How early remains to be seen. But I'm just telling you, I would, if a chain gets there, because I don't think he'll fall that far. But if he does, I'm just saying I think he is in consideration. He is pretty much at everything they want. He's a lead at, according to Pro Football Focus.
And I mean, I think that's actually something that a lot of people maybe aren't considering, is that just how big of a deal a running back is going to be. Like a running back in this draft is going to get a lot of time playing in this system because we don't have Kareem anymore. Dearness also left. So we're really putting a lot of onus onto Jerome Ford to really kind of be that second running back. I don't know if they are going to want to make it a 2 running back system. I think that, and especially because they just aren't sure of what Jerome Ford is, you're going to want another guy. And you also just said, Nick Chubb, he's got a lot of money invested in him. There's a good chance that sometime in the next year or two that they're going to probably want to start looking to move off that contract, especially because Deshaun's contract is just going to keep taking up more and more of the cap. So you're definitely going to want to find some players that you can use to kind of maneuver around it. So yeah, I think that, I don't know if I would be looking at a running back this early, like, cause kind of like you said, it's like you're building for the future. And
these comments, man, are great, by the way. By the way, I'm so sorry I'm a buzzkill to all of you. I'm not okay, Jack. You've known me. I mean, it's been what, 3 years now, over 2 years, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's been like 3
years. I'm here to beat around the bush. Like, I get to the point. If I see a scenario and knowing how Andrew Berry is, it's just the reality. I'm going to tell you guys straight up, even if it means you all want to come here and wring my neck. Like, that's just how it is. All right. So
like, I don't know if I would 100% go in on a running back right now. Like,
I'm just saying if he gets there, he makes the conversation interesting.
Yeah, he makes the conversation interesting, obviously, because I think that you get a guy like of his caliber going down into the third round at pick number 74. Obviously, he's a guy that you're going to be like, well, crap, do we want a really good, running back who could be a future rotation player on this team? Or do we want a guy at a position of need? Obviously, you don't want to be, relying on a guy like that in the third round as a rookie going to, a defensive tackle position or a corner position, even though, again, we've had a lot of good turnouts with our corners in the draft recently. So, I mean, I honestly think that this is like a best player available kind of thing, because I think that all the corners, like, obviously a corner, you can never have enough corners. I forget who said that, but you can never have enough corners. Maybe it was Kevin. Was it Kevin who said that? You can never have enough corners.
I'm pretty sure it was Kevin.
Yeah, like, you can never have enough good corners. I mean, I don't know if I'm really feeling any particular draw towards any of the safeties. There's not really a lot of D-tackle depth here.
There's one for me, Jack. There's one for me. And I'm not going to take him here because I think we can get him a little bit later.
Yeah.
I just posted about him today. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you're not already, at @T_Johnson_TJ on Twitter for draft conversation that we have. This man right here, Jamie Robinson, is my guy at safety. I'm telling you, he plays slot, he plays box, he plays deep. He's 78 grade, 80.1 against the run, a missed tackle rate of almost 7.4%, which is elite, and over 15% forced incompletion rate, which is elite. He's my guy at safety. I'm just telling you right now, like, he is everything you want. And Andrew Berry prepares for the future. Not only will Jamie Robinson, can he contribute now, he's a possible Grant Delpit replacement. Exactly what he is.
Yeah, you definitely need to be looking for that. So the real question is, do you think that we can make it to 98 and have him still be on the board?
I think we can.
So I think that if we're comfortable with that, we can just take either best player available. So we can either choose a corner or we can go with a Shane.
Okay. So I'm going to pull up a couple positions here. And then we will make a pick at some point. But again, we're talking through these. These are all scenarios that are going to come up here. We'll do edge, linebacker, and
linebacker's
corner.
Another big one.
Do you want me to put up receiver too, if the right guy falls?
Well, let's just see who's there. Like, obviously, it's all going to come down to who's there, who made it there. But
by the way, Jack,
I mean,
Marvin Mims is there.
He's there. God, it's so hard because, like, you want it, because obviously you would be like, oh yeah, Marvin Mims in the third round 100%. But now it's like, gosh, but we just got Elijah Moore. Do we really want to put a third round asset into a wide receiver?
Harry has joined the draft, by the way.
Oh, he's here, man.
By the way, I promise you, we will talk Deuce Vaughn.
We're gonna talk about Deuce Vaughn.
I promise you, 100%. Keith weighs in and says Jamie Robinson would be my ideal pick.
At 74, he would want him right now. He wouldn't even want to wait until 98 and
I would pull the trigger, but there's another position I'm looking at here. Do you know which one it is?
Well, I'm assuming it's edge.
That's one of them, but there's actually there.
Oh, you're talking about needing another linebacker next to JOK?
This is where I'm at. Dorian Williams. He meets the criteria Andrew Berry looks for in a linebacker. He is a little undersized, similar to JOK. 76 pass rush grade, 69 against the run, which is a little bit weaker, but again, still solid. 87 coverage grade and an 8.3% missed tackle rate. I mean,
that's really good.
The thing is, in this scenario, we're not trading up.
We're not trading up, for sure.
We know the Browns like Trenton Simpson. They had him in. And I think if there's a scenario, if he's there at 60, I think they trade up for him. I've done that in a simulation. I have traded up for Trenton Simpson. And this scenario is not there. We can also wait on linebacker. I honestly, Jack, you make the position call and then we'll pick a player. What position do we go with here?
Well, I think that in this position, just looking at the guys who are on the board and just considering what the Browns need, I think that it has to be either safety or linebacker, because I feel like those are the two real question marks, at least going into this season going forward. So we can either look at just Dorian Williams, because he seems to be like the standout guy, and we're confident that Robinson is going to be there at 98. For the most part. So I think that if we go into this thinking, okay, we lock up a linebacker third round, go down to 98, and Jamie Robinson's still there, we can get a double tap on those two defensive players. I think that that's a solid third round.
It is. I'm trying to think. Edge is also a sneaky need here.
It is a sneaky need. But how confident are you in guys like in some of these guys?
I'm a big Isaiah McGuire fan personally. Basically what he is he has a never-ending motor at the position. 80. I mean, you can see the grades on your screen, guys. 82 pass rush grade, 74.3 run defense grade. That true pass rush grade at 84 points. I mean, his numbers are against SEC teams. Like, I mean, I don't know. He fits the age they look for. I think sneaky for me. Again, this is just my thinking. I think you could get McGuire, you get your edge right then and there. Also, real quick, I am going to scroll up. I will show. He's asking where Tyler Scott went. Tyler Scott went. Wow.
What the heck? Did they take him in the first round? Or is he just really far down on the board?
Did I just miss him? I might have missed him.
I don't know. I don't think I saw him.
Maybe Tyler Scott is here and is available.
He might still be there. He might just be really low.
Wow. Maybe.
I
Maybe
think he's just really low on here.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, there he is. He's really far down.
That is ridiculously low. For this, we are not taking receiver though at the moment. I think personally, Jack, you can get the edge that you want. You can still go get a linebacker, get a safety, add receiver. I'm down with whatever you think, though. There's so many different ways they could go. And if you're looking BPA based off the needs that we have, McGuire is the top player available based off everything that we're looking at here. Now, his average draft position is 98. Could we get him at 98? That's the question you have to ask yourself. I personally think we should go linebacker, and I think Dorian Williams is the guy here. But also, whatever you think. I think Dorian Williams should be the pick.
I think Dorian Williams is a solid pick.
Okay. All right. We're going to take Dorian Williams here and go from there. So we took linebacker Dorian Williams, and again, we'll see what happens from there.
Okay. So Isaiah McGuire is still there, and Jamie Robinson is there.
Dude,
So now we gotta choose between our favorite children here.
So here's where I'm looking. And this is where I want the chat to weigh in on this as well. Jamie Robinson is a guy that you can play. And when I mean this, he can play anywhere. He can play any safety spot, play slot corner. He can play all of that for you. You can even line him up closer to the line of scrimmage, and that man will tackle. I mean, he is a really good athlete. Now, Isaiah McGuire is still the top edge on the board. And how he is there, I have no idea personally. I would take him. But I think I want the guy that can do everything for you. I want Jamie Robinson. To me, it's a no-brainer, and I don't think he gets this far. If he gets this far, the Browns should run up the card. They really should. MPC weighs in Jamie. Keith weighs in Jamie. What are your thoughts here, Jack? Because I still think we can get an edge rusher with our next pick, or even go wide receiver, because there are edges that are still going to be available later in the draft. So what are your thoughts here?
I definitely think, it is hard because all season we've been clamoring, okay, we need another edge. We need more line depth. But the thing is like, we all know that Grant Delpit he didn't get injured last year and he's shown a lot of improvement. But I mean, when did we draft him? Was that 2020 that we drafted Grant Delpit, or was it 19?
He was I think 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, 2020.
So I mean, like we're coming up on the end of his contract, and I don't know if they're going to want to keep him and re-sign him. I think that getting that safety position locked up, because like you said, there's going to be a lot of good or at least decent edge options later on in the draft.
Yeah,
I think
said that too.
Yeah, I think getting your safety locked up and having like a surefire guy that is going to step into that role behind Grant is probably the better like long-term option.
Everyone's speaking and they want Jamie. All right, you know what? We're going. Let's go, baby. I am pumped. If we get a couple guys here that I really want, I'm going to be so pumped. All right, Jamie Robinson, you are a Cleveland Brown, baby.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Okay. Now, this is where it does get a little bit thinner.
Hold on.
Zach Harrison is there this late. I get it. Like, I get it. People are a little bit worried about the blacker product. Like, I get it. I do. You can't argue the physical tools. You can't. And AB, I think I can get Deuce Vaughn later. I want Deuce Vaughn, I really do, but we don't have an edge yet. Which is they will draft somebody at edge. I firmly believe it. You got Colby Wooden, who is pretty good out of Auburn. Man, Zach Harrison, that was intriguing to me. And it's not just because he's a Buckeye. It's just everything he brings physical tool-wise. Like, man, there's some okay, here's what I'm going to do, Jack.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to pull up. We're going to do receiver.
Edge.
We'll do edge. And we'll do D tackle. I've never seen Jack. Just for the record, for those of you guys who do mocks, if you don't, I've never seen Zach Harrison available this late. For what it's worth.
Now, if I was my dad, I would just be like, hey, he's an Ohio State kid. We got to get him. That's just how it works.
AB, Zach Harrison, Zach Miller, go with the Buckeye. I think you got to do it. I really do. The value is insane.
Yeah, the value is really good. I mean, I haven't seen, because I've been looking up just a couple of different mocks just from what people have been saying, what they expect to see. And I didn't see anyone even like saying like, oh, maybe if Zach Harrison's there. So I don't know if this is just like one of those, mocks where it's just like everything is kind of going our way but I mean, Andy's a Buckeye. I don't think anyone will complain about this at all. So I'm 100% cool with getting Zach Harrison.
Trey Palmer, interesting. Keep that name in mind. For the record, Zach Harrison, I get he did underachieve at Ohio State, and I'm not here to defend him in that regard. He took a step forward this year, and he can play inside out. He's a guy. He's huge, man. I mean, 6'5", 274 pounds. He's only going to be 22. It's a Browns pick in the 4th round. That's a no-brainer. Zach Harrison, you're trading Columbus for Cleveland. Welcome to the Browns. Let's go.
It's only like 3 hours north. It's not that far a drive.
All right, Jack. We're at 126 here. And just for the record, you know where I'm going with this, but I do want to hear your thoughts. I have an opportunity to grab the running back that I dream of. But that being said, wide receiver has taken a little bit of a dip.
Yeah.
It's definitely lower than what I would want. I will bring up some names to you that do intrigue me this late, because the Browns can either go receiver earlier and they can go late, and there are options there regardless.
Yeah.
So what position are you looking at? I think for me, this is just me. I think wide receiver, because we still haven't drafted one. Running back, and let's go with we drafted Harrison. And
what's your thought? What is your thought on tight ends? Because I've been hearing people say that and I've also just been thinking about it, because Harrison Bryant took a real big step back this year. And I mean, I think a lot of people,
I was not a fan.
A lot of people are really thinking that he is not going to be on this team for very long. So they might be looking for another guy. Like, I don't know if it's just because, I don't know if they don't like how Harrison blocks, or just that they were, they just gave David so much money, so they wanted to make him the featured, tight end. But I mean, Harrison just didn't really do anything this year. So I think that they might be looking to try to get another guy. Like, what's your thought on like them taking a tight end? Like, I mean, what is this? This is pick 126. So like
I believe it's absolutely possible, and I wouldn't rule it out. There's a guy that we can get in the 6th round or 7th round that I really like out of Penn State, Bretton Strange, that would address that. And Penn State's developed some really good tight ends. A lot of Penn State players, especially in offense, Parker Washington, I see him mentioned, trade up for him. If we were trading up, Parker Washington's a guy. I've mentioned him on Twitter. I really like Parker Washington. A lot of people are fading Penn State weapons because of the quarterback play. I think we can wait on tight end and still get one. I think we're in a scenario. Running back is going to get very scarce here as far as the talent drop off after this round. That's something to keep in mind. But while we are thinking about this, Jack, we do want to take a second and hear from our new sponsor, BetStamp.
What's up, guys? Today's podcast is brought to you by our friends over at the BetStamp app, which is helping thousands of people win at sports betting, and it's absolutely free. The same way travelers use things like Google Flights, Expedia, and other websites to find the best prices, bettors can now use the BetStamp app to do the same for sports betting. When you place a bet, the odds given by a sportsbook will determine how much you could possibly win. Even when betting on the same outcome, different sportsbooks will offer varying payouts, and those differences can be pretty big. Thankfully, BetStamp allows you to easily line shop for the most profitable odds across all the major sports books. You can click on any matchup and instantly see all the different odds from game lines, player props, and even futures bets. Line shopping is the simplest way to find an edge in sports betting and maximize your chances of winning long term. On average, BetStamp users win an extra $1,000 a year just by line shopping. For example, March Madness is tipping off. You want to make sure you're going to have all the tools needed to cash in on your predictions. The tournament is filled with exciting upsides, and BetStamp will connect you with the best possible odds for every pick you make. You can find the BetStamp app in the Apple iOS Store, Google Play Store, or through your browser at www.betstamp.app. To access all these benefits, sign up using our promo code Network216, all one word, no space between network and 216, and start your journey to successfully sports betting today. If you forget to use the code upon sign up, you can always enter our code in your BetStamp account settings afterwards. So go check it out. And let's make some money.
All right, Jack. Probably the perfect time to hear for our sponsor while we mull over this selection.
Yeah.
So where are you leaning with this pick? Again, this is tough for me. I love Deuce Vaughn. I am his biggest fan. Zach Evans is also here, and Zach Evans is intriguing from being a former 5-star prospect. We know Andrew Berry really looks at that. Davis Allen is interesting. I've taken him in a mock before out of Clemson. The fact he's here surprises me. Ray Neckfull says Kuntz or Vaughn now, and then Bryce Wheaton. It's funny you mentioned Bryce Ford Wheaton. It's funny you mentioned him because that is someone on the radar for a little bit later down in the draft. But I mean, the thing about Zach Kuntz, and man, my dog just farted and it smells like death. My goodness. Oh
no.
Anyway, I'm powering. I'm gonna power through. All right. So what's intriguing about Kuntz here, Jack? His RAS score is a 9.99. He's 6'7", 255 pounds at tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Very intriguing. He is on the older side at tight end, though.
Yeah.
Well,
how much do you think Andrew Berry is going to stay within his guardrails in this draft? Do you think he's going to stay as strict as, because I mean he's been pretty in line with it the past couple of years, but a lot of people are now starting to say, "Hey, we might have to start going outside of it."
This is a good one.
That's a true dog check. That's the dog just letting you know it's there.
So Jack, Andrew Berry has shown his willingness to bend the guardrails later in the draft. Kuntz would be the oldest player they've ever taken if they took him. The RAS, they like the RAS score. I still don't think they take a tight end here. I don't. I told you early, like when we started this thing, running back is a position they're going to add. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. And
we have Deuce Vaughn, Zach Evans, Chase Brown, Keaton Mitchell all on the board. I think they're taking one of them if they're there. I really do. I know where I would go. I know where I would go personally, because again, what are the Browns missing right now for Deshaun Watson? What are they missing for Deshaun Watson right now, would you say, as far as another weapon is concerned?
I mean, obviously you want a receiving back that can get out in the flat and, help him out when he's scrambling, probably. And I mean, because that's who we thought Kareem was going to be this year, and that didn't really work out. And I mean, if you have a guy like Deuce Vaughn, I mean, this guy is
there's no better.
Yeah,
there's no one better, Jack. I mean, I get people are worried like, oh, someone his size doesn't succeed. You're not relying on him to be an every down back. You're relying on him to essentially be your Darren Sproles, and I think he's better than Sproles for the record. I think he can do more than what Sproles can do.
Well, I think that this is like a perfect. It really is kind of like a perfect pick for the Browns, just in terms of like how they, just in terms of how they're currently built in the running back room. Because I mean, you have Jerome Ford, you have Nick Chubb, and then I mean, you have some guys like Demetric Felton, who we just aren't really sure what his position is at all. I
don't
mean,
know if the Browns are sure what his position
I don't know.
is.
I don't think they know either, and that's the issue, right? Is that they don't know what his real value is. They don't know what they want to do with him. Who knows if Dimitrich's even going to make it through camp, if he's even going to make the team. I mean, he's probably the most on the bubble player outside of Anthony Schwartz. But I think that you bring in a guy like Deuce Vaughn, you put him in that, second, third running back rotation with a guy like Jerome Ford and Nick Chubb, and you have a lot of options with how you can kind of like put guys out there. And especially if he's able to, progress. And if we think that, Nick Chubb's time on this team, 1-2 years, you have a guy like Jerome Ford and Deuce Vaughn on your team, we might be looking at kind of the way that Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt were kind of working together, is that, you have those two guys with two different play styles who have two different skill sets and you use them interchangeably. So, I mean, I think everyone could use a running back that can replicate Nick Chubb, but
there will never be another.
I don't think
there aren't many of those guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're not just going to find that guy in the third round on accident.
And well, I mean, we're
the fact that we got Nick in the second round was insane.
I hate to tell you this, MPC. The reality is, a lot of teams out there, they have a third down running back, and the Browns consistently would take Chubb out on third down anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a knock against Nick Chubb, but you need a guy that can consistently be a receiving threat for you out of the backfield. And that's just not what Nick Chubb is. It's not. It's not a knock on Chubb. Chubb's one of the best running backs in the NFL, if not the best. He's not Deuce Vaughn coming out of the backfield receiving the ball. He's not. Deuce Vaughn, watch some highlights of Deuce Vaughn. He is exactly what Deshaun Watson would love to have at the position.
Yeah.
If you are looking for more of a back to take eventually Nick Chubb's role, you would look at Zach Evans here. And I think the Browns would look at Zach Evans, former 5-star prospect. So, Jack, you know what? I'm going to leave this one up to you.
Oh, you're going to leave it up to me?
Well, no, you know who I want.
I know you want Deuce Vaughn, and I'm in agreement with you because I think that Deuce Vaughn has a good skill set to kind of give us what we need as that third back. I think we need a guy. Now, obviously, I love Kareem, but he took a really big step back last year, and I think if we had more consistent production out of a receiving back in the backfield, maybe some of these plays and some of these drives would have survived another series or two. We just need a guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield, can make a guy miss, can do the things that we thought Kareem Hunt was going to be able to do for us this year. But he just, he lost a step, kind of like what the Browns were saying. He lost a step. And I mean, it sucks, but I think that Deuce Vaughn gives you that value.
Jack, do the right thing, Deuce Vaughn. All right, we are taking Deuce Vaughn here in the 4th round. Now, again, there are a number of ways they could go at running back, and I think if I saw Tank Bigsby mentioned, if he somehow slides here, I think they would run the card up for him. Mm-hmm. Zach Evans is on the radar too. Again, Jack, because he's a former 5-star, we know Andrew Berry loves that.
And that's really the main thing, right? Is that this is just us. Basing this off
We're
of
not
our
Andrew
own
Berry
idea.
here.
Yeah, this is not who we think Andrew Berry. Because look, I don't think anyone went into last year's draft and said, "Yeah, that Martin Emerson kid. I bet the Browns are gonna, want to trade back and then get him." Right? No one thought that. We all thought, "Nah, corner's kind of a solved position for us. We don't really need to worry about it that much."
By the way, Jack, look who went one.
Yeah,
pick
Jonathan
before.
Mingo went one before. Of course he did. Oh man.
We just for the record, everyone, if Jonathan Mingo was there, we would have taken him.
We would have taken
Jonathan
Mingo.
I wouldn't even have talked to Jack. We would have just made the pick.
I mean, look, it would have been hard because I know that you guys love Deuce Vaughn, but I mean,
I would take Mingo in that situation.
Yeah,
I'm being honest. I would take Mingo. Now, this is interesting from the standpoint, Jack. You got 2 picks in a row, basically here.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we're not going to do it for the sake of this mock. They will trade one of these picks.
100%.
They will trade one of these picks and get picks for 2024.
Yeah,
at 100%. I am curious just what hypothetically teams wanted to trade up here. The Chiefs at 166 and the Rams. Okay, that's just good to know. Just because I'm curious.
Yeah.
Okay, on the board we're gonna put down a couple options here. I'm gonna go center.
Yeah.
Interior offensive line. So interior offensive lineman. I'm gonna go offensive tackle. tight end, and wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Jack, there's a guy here at wide receiver, and I'm going to show you his grade. It's not going to make sense to you, okay? Like, let me just say that now. It's not going to add up. Like, but I'm going to tell you his RAS score, and that's what makes him intriguing this late in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Ford Wheaton out of West Virginia. Again, this doesn't leap out to you in any way. West Virginia did not have great quarterback play for one. He did end up third in the Big 12 in touchdowns with 7. So you can see that there's a progression from year to year. Now, his RAS score, he's 6'4", 221 pounds. He is going to be 23 years old, but again, they bend the guardrails later in the draft. Mm-hmm. Bryce Ford Wheaton, just to give you a general idea, his RAS score was a 9.93. And obviously that's elite. To give you some more, because I'm looking at right now, size, elite. Weight, for that height, elite. His vertical was elite. Broad, elite. His shuttle, his splits, which are the Browns absolutely look at that. Those are elite. Hey, Jack, his 40-yard time at 6'4", 221 pounds, 4.38.
Whoo. That boy can run. He's fast.
This, when you get, again, what's funny, not to give you guys too much info here, but I am having a post on Bryce Ford Wheaton coming out this week on Twitter. You guys might want to check. I provide all in-depth stats on him. Jack, I think when you get this late in the draft, we didn't take Mingo.
Yeah.
We didn't take Parker Washington, Trey Palmer. We didn't take a receiver early. When you get late to the draft, you're looking for a guy that could potentially be something special when you get late like this.
Yeah.
That is Bryce Ford Wheaton in a nutshell.
And the thing is that I think that they will be more so let's just say hypothetically we get to this point and well, hold on, I'm getting there. Okay. So if we're getting to this point, and let's say that they, for some reason, they don't trade one of these picks, that they feel comfortable taking 2 guys in the 5th round, which I think we both agree that that's just not, that doesn't sound like an Andrew Berry move.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that they would 100% feel justified, and they would take a flyer to do that because they have the second pick. Because if they're like, okay, might it be a reach to go for Bryce Ford Wheaton right now? Is there a chance that we could get burned just because we don't know exactly how good he can really be, even though like you pointed out, he has all these great stats and just elite RAS score and just great times and everything at the combine. Is that all good? Yeah. But do we want to, make it so that, but because we have that second 5th round pick and it's right next to it, I think that they would be like, okay, let's get the surefire thing. And then let's go for the home run pick. And this would be like the home run pick. If it works out perfectly, great. If not, then it's not really that big a deal. So I think that if just in our draft, in our situation where we're hypothetically Andrew Berry and we're hypothetically here not trading back all of our picks, then I think that Bryce Ford Wheaton would actually be like a player that you'd want to say, I want to get this guy, but then get another surefire kind of guy that makes a little bit more sense and isn't as much of a risk, if you know what I'm saying. No,
I absolutely get it. So the chat seems convinced now. But anyway, we're getting late in the draft. So it's good. We might go a little over an hour, guys, just so you know. So hopefully you guys stick with us. This is a lot of fun. Anyway, Mr. My bad. NPC says quarterback project late. Now, this is where PFF has really changed Dorian Thompson-Robinson in his draft position the last couple weeks here. I used to be able to get him the 7th. Now I can't. The Browns have met with him at the combine. They also have him in for a top 30 visit. Do with that what you will. Do with that information what you will. I think there is legit interest here. But again, we're not doing this for Andrew Berry. We're doing this for us. It's interesting. If he is there, they might take him. They very well might take him, Jack. I don't think here we do. AB said, do we take Shrugs for depth? They easily could take a center here. That would not surprise me by any means.
I think that they will end up taking another tackle at some point in this draft because I think that they're confident at the center position right now. But I think that they know that we're going to need a right guard within the next year. Like we're going to need to get a new guard. It's just going to be, it's an inevitability. So we're probably going to get a tackle in this, or a tackle or an inside offensive lineman in this draft.
The good news is, like, at least with guard, it's an easier position to replace normally. Than it is to replace a tackle.
Mm-hmm.
This is the guy that, if he's available, I think they're intrigued with. He is the ultimate project. He is 6'6", 318 pounds. Nick Saldiveri out of Old Dominion. His teammate, Zach Kuntz, is also from Old Dominion and available, funny enough.
Mm-hmm.
A 9.47 RAS score. He's going to be 23 years old when the season starts, but you're looking at a project here.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a guy they'd love. I really do.
Well, and just from what I've seen is that he has minimal experience at guard. Obviously, like, that's a concern. But the thing is that if you're bringing him in, you have Bill Callahan. You're going to have Jack Conklin there on the right side for 3-4 years. You have, I mean, the center position is kind of like, it's not anything too crazy, but I think that, you bring him into a really good position. He's got long arms. He's a really good, he's done well when he's played guard, the minimal amount of snaps. And I think that he could easily make the transition, because again, it's not that hard of a transition going from right tackle to right guard. So I think that this would be like one of those guys that they'd be like, yeah, we want to turn this guy into our right guard of the future because we just don't know what's going on with Wyatt Teller long term.
Or it's a Conklin replacement.
But how many years does Conklin have left on his extension?
I mean, if you look at it this way, like, so at Conklin overall, you look at age first and foremost, like, because that is worrisome for sure. I mean, the fact he's had so many injuries at 29 years old. The way it works is they're not cutting him after this year. They could cut him. Well, they could cut him for 2024 post June, and it would be 12.9. But they would do the same thing. They would spread it out like John Johnson III. Mm-hmm. It's an absolute possibility they could do that.
Well, who do you think is going to be replaced on the offensive
Or they
line?
could trade him, and it would only be $7 million against the cap.
That's true. So, well, I guess I didn't really consider the option that they trade Jack Conklin because I just didn't know really how much value he has on the trade market. But I guess, yeah, he's a veteran tackle. But so, like, I guess really what I'm saying is, what's more likely that we trade Jack Conklin away and then Nick Saldiveri comes in and takes over that right tackle position, or that after this season Wyatt Teller moves on, or we move on from Wyatt Teller, either one, because I don't think he's going to get another extension, and we kind of convert Nick Saldiveri into that right guard position and kind of put him in the slot that, because I think that he fits that role. And it's, again, like you said, it's not that hard of a conversion. You have Bill Callahan, you have proven guys on that line. Like he won't be asked to basically do anything impossible. He's going to fulfill a role. Mm-hmm. And I think that he can do that, especially given a year behind Wyatt Teller. Like, I think that he can easily, that's definitely a guy that if they bring in, that's kind of like a sign that Wyatt Teller is gone. Like, that's just me. Like, I don't want to look too deep into it and say that anything about Jack Conklin, but I think that that's like a sign of Wyatt Teller.
No, I'm there with you. That's kind of where I'm at with this. I saw someone bring up Jackson Kirkland. I'm not against him, and I think that's someone they could potentially look at. The age is the biggest factor with Kirkland.
Yeah.
He's 6'7", 321 pounds. He's going to be 25 years old. So, to answer your question, I'm not against the player. I think he's a solid player. He's just old, man. And I don't think again, they're going to bend the guardrails. They're not going to.
They're not doing it for a guard. They're not doing it for a guard.
No, it's not even that. This would be the oldest player he's ever drafted.
Well, look, they have to save their one big guardrail bend for when they go and get Stetson Bennett in the 7th round.
Dude, don't even get me no. I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to hear it, Jack. Dude's trash. Anyway, so I think we agree on Nick Saldiveri here.
So I think, yes, so. Again, this is just we're in the idea that we're not trading up or we're not trading down. I think that it would be like a 1-2 Nick Saldiveri and Ford Wheaton. I think that that would be the 1-2 there.
Okay, and that's what we're gonna do. So we'll take Bryce Ford Wheaton here as well. And we're on to pick 190. Now, keep in mind, guys, we did not make any trades, and I believe the Browns absolutely are making a trade.
Yeah, I think we both agree that I think that there's no way that we're drafting. How many picks do we have? 7? I don't think we're taking.
We have 8, I believe.
8?
Maybe it is 7. Maybe it is 7.
I don't
have it in front of me.
I don't remember. I could look it up really quick, but
okay. This is where this gets interesting.
They do have 8 picks.
Okay, well, so Jack, there are a couple names here that stand out first. Marte Mapu is interesting as another safety. And yeah, you guys might think I'm crazy, but at this point, it's BPA.
Yeah, it is BPA.
Small school. He can play slot, box. Not as much deep snaps, but he can play in the slot, play in the box. He also lined up some at D-line.
Hey, if you can do it, do it.
6'3", 216 pounds. Some teams are looking at him as a linebacker as well. He's interesting to me, just for the record. We also have not drafted. So I'm going to put up tight end, quarterback, and safety and defensive line.
Yeah.
Now, the reason some of you, I already know people are going to ask in the comments why we haven't taken a defensive tackle. Zach Harrison can play inside out, and I think that kind of addresses that. I also don't think they're done in free agency, as crazy as that sounds. I think they're going to go add another, but I think they're going to add Al Woods for one. Like, that's not inside info. That's just a prediction. I think they're going to add Al Woods, and they still could add a veteran defensive end too. It's not going to. There's still guys available. So, okay. So, Jack, Marty Mapu, he is the best player. Keep in mind, okay, I'm going to highlight this name for a second. Clayton Tune. Why am I highlighting him? The Browns have met with him at the Combine and had him in for a top 30 visit. There's some interest there. There obviously is some interest there.
Look at him. Oh God!
No names.
He who shall not be named.
We won't mention any names, but no, that's just me using common sense, honestly. Especially with the Perrion Winfrey news today. I think that
Perrion, what is he doing, man?
Being stupid. Anyway, this is where we're at. Clayton Tune is still available in the 6th round. The Browns have met with him. I mean, obviously, all these are elite stats when you're not playing against anybody.
Yeah.
Age doesn't matter when it comes to quarterbacks. It like when you get this late, it really doesn't. You're taking whatever you think. So, are you for taking a quarterback here, or would you rather pass and look somewhere else? For me, I rather pass, but I would
rather pass. I don't think I need to take a quarterback here. Like,
okay, so our options are safety, defensive line, tight end. We're gonna get absolutely killed by Pro Football Focus, but this is my guy. This late. He, again, the numbers don't look great, but keep in mind who his quarterback was. Sean Clifford. And yeah, that's about all I really need to say. Sean Clifford. You guys are killing me in the chat. I'm not gonna say much more.
Oh man.
But if you guys follow me on Twitter, I had some hilarious tweets for that. So another reason to follow me. Entertainment from time to time without mentioning people by name. So Jack, this is where I'm at to me, Brenton Strange here is a no-brainer. He won't be there in the 7th. I've done this simulation 100 times, and he's never there. This is my guy, personally. I just think it makes too much sense as a third tight end. You see the elite drop rate, only 3%. The receiving grade's elite for a tight end. Look at that contested catch rate.
That is actually a really impressive contested catch rate. I mean, considering that he's
6'4", 253 pounds, and he's only 22 years old.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tyler. I think you need to have a highly contested catch rate. Like, you need a good catch rate if you're playing for the Nittany Lions. Like, I think that's almost like a requirement because the ball's not coming straight to you.
No, and I absolutely agree with that. There's another tight end the Browns met with, Cameron Latu. I am not a fan whatsoever.
Yeah, the numbers aren't too inspiring here.
And he played at Alabama too. Like, he played with Bryce Young. Like, that's brutal for me. What are your thoughts? Where are you looking here?
The thing is, Tyler, is that I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I'm just not well versed enough to have looked this deep into these guys.
Josh, what's going on, man?
Down in the ADP. So I'm going to just go off of what you say. If you think Brenton Strange is that guy who can be the third tight end for the Cleveland Browns, you know what, man? I'm all in. Brenton Strange is a Cleveland Brown, baby. I'm all in. I'm buying his jersey right now.
Oh.
I don't care.
All right. We're going to get, just so you guys know, I don't look at the ratings when it comes to the very end of these things. I draft guys that I think are good fits. So we're going to get killed for some of these picks that we're making. I don't read too much into it. Brenton Strange is going to be a Cleveland Brown at pick 190, and I think that's just fantastic value. Now we're going to get to our last pick. Josh says he wants to draft Jaleel McLaughlin from Youngstown State. Yes, I'm one affinity percent bias based on my alma mater. I absolutely understand that. I think there's some interest in him as an undrafted free agent. Just have a hunch. He'd be an UDFA that the Browns could look to add. So, Josh, I don't think they would draft him. UDFA would be where they would add him. So, just wanted to throw that out there. I am curious, just for the sake of, since he brought him up, he is not mentioned by Pro Football Focus.
Dang.
It's not. I was just curious. That's not like to roast the guy or anything like that. I was curious if he would be on here. Okay. So, Jack, now, interesting scenario is upon us. Malik Cunningham is available.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting to me. That's the first time he's actually been available in a mock I've done. You could look at wide receiver because I do think they could double down on that. See if another guy can make the roster. Corner, that's another position to look at. And let's see. Defensive line. So, I'm just going to tell you where I'm looking. Because I know, like you said, you haven't, especially this far into the draft. When we do our dueling mocks, I'm sure you'll be like this genius that knows
I'll
every
try.
single
I
thing.
will try.
Also, Josh, you are correct. And there's interest. Just trust me. There's some interest there. That's all I'll say.
Tyler, the last time I got super invested in the draft, I was out here banging the table for Khalil Shakir, man, and then I got my heart broken when he went to the Buffalo
I remember
Bills
that.
and did nothing. He did nothing.
They didn't even play him. They chose Jamison Crowder to play over that guy.
I know, dude.
Don't take Bobo. I don't want to be screaming Bobo touchdown on Sundays. All right, Jake Bobo, you're off the board.
What do you mean, man? I want Bobo now. Hold on. Now I'm starting to like Bobo touchdowns. That sounds funny, dude.
Jack, Malik Cunningham's there. He's only 6 foot, 192 pounds. Gonna be 20. Again, age doesn't matter. I'm not looking at that.
I'm not. Yeah, who cares about the age?
Running quarterback. That is exactly what he is. Even though they don't, for some odd reason, have
they don't have his rush stats. They didn't have them on there for like any of them.
Yeah,
which doesn't really help. Which doesn't really help. It makes him look like, oh wow, he only had 1,500 yards last season. Really?
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous. I'm not quite sure why. There wasn't much mentioned there. So let me see if I can real quick load his stats, just because I think it's important for the sake of this conversation.
Yeah.
He ran for 565 yards this year. and 12 touchdowns, averaged 5 yards a carry.
Whew.
In 2021, he ran for over 1,000 yards.
Jeez.
I don't think they're going to take him because I think they want more of a guy that can pass because Watson obviously, like,
see,
he becomes intriguing this late, though. He really does.
Well, I mean, it's always intriguing getting a guy, this late. Just it's like everyone kind of becomes intriguing at this point. It's just like, for 7th round, like obviously if it was even like the end of the 6th round, you'd be like, I'm not using 6th round on this guy. But if you were the first pick of the 7th round, hold on, this is a 7th round evaluation. I mean, hey, maybe 7th rounder.
Maybe you can find something.
Maybe you can find something there.
If I were, and I'm not saying I am, if I were looking at a wide receiver here, if that was something that was on the table, Puka Nakura out of BYU would be a guy I'm looking at. The numbers don't jump out at you by any means. Played majority out wide. He can play in the slot from time to time. 90.1 receiving grade, 3.53 yards run per route, 75 grade against man coverage. If you're looking at someone late, his issue has been injuries, unfortunately. 89.8 overall grade. He's going to be only 22, 6'2", 201 pounds. They would take – I think he's a guy they would take a chance on this late. I really – based off everything again, injuries worry you, but at this point, you're looking for a diamond in the rough if you can find one.
Yeah, I mean, and this is he'd be 5th or 6th on the wide receiver depth chart. Like, I mean, he would be – I mean, it would almost come to a point where it's like, would he even make the team as a wide receiver? Like – I mean, it would be a tough competition. So I mean, I don't even think that it would be that crazy for them to go, because I mean, I'm just trying to think another wide receiver.
Michael, real quick, Jack. Michael, the cornerback from Baldwin Wallace that they do like a lot is Anthony Kendall. Mm-hmm. Anthony Kendall out of Baldwin Wallace. The Browns have a lot of interest in him, and it's been it's out there for sure. They are absolutely interested in Anthony Kendall. So, anyways, Jack.
I think actually, yeah. So he would be like the 5th or 6th wide receiver. And so he could, they would have room for him. I don't know why I was trying to think like that we were already up against it with like our wide receiver room, like in terms of like who's 100% making the team. And I'm just assuming obviously that Ford Wheaton would make the team.
I would assume that as well.
Like, so I mean, it's definitely not as out of the question as I thought it was going into the 7th round. Like I was thinking like, okay, we get like one or two wide receivers here, and then I don't know why I thought we were like overloaded, like right up against it with in terms of like our roster cuts. Gosh, but did we end up getting another defensive lineman, or was it only that one? Was it only Harrison?
It was only Zach Harrison.
Okay. See, I might just want to get another defensive lineman just for posterity, because like we've been complaining about it all year, and it is still kind of like really the biggest overall need, because I mean we've obviously made some adjustments and gotten some players to bolster it, but I wonder how much Andrew Berry is going to want to, especially now that Perry and Winfrey just, we don't really know what his status is.
We do not. He's the biggest question mark right now, man. We have no idea what happens with him.
You just can't trust him. Like we can't trust him to be there every game. How many games did he miss last season because of either, just issues with like not going to camp or not being to meetings early? Like there's a good chance that they could just see him as like a kind of okay, this guy is just not going to work in the NFL. Like he doesn't have the work ethic or whatever. And that's nothing against him. That's just like, it might just be something that they see in him that he just can't figure out. And who knows if that's going to impact his NFL career. And they might just be saying, well, hey, we just need some more guys in the off chance that we need more depth.
This is why I pulled up this name right here. DJ Dale is very low on Pro Football Focus draft board, an 80.5 overall grade. You know that Browns would like that. Only 3 sacks. I mean, the numbers don't stand out at you. I mean, they really don't, if we're being completely honest. A-gap, 129 snaps. B-gap, 240. 79 pass rush grade. Very solid. 75.4 run defense grade. Jack, here's what I want you to look at. That pass rush win rate.
Mm-hmm.
That is what the Browns look for in their defensive tackles. Everyone wants us to stop the run. I get it. Andrew Berry really looks at that pass rush win rate for defensive tackles. 11.3%. True pass rush set grade, 90. Elite.
Yeah.
I mean, again, look at the number of snaps, and it's not a lot. So again, but this is what you're looking for this late. Can he become
this
something?
late.
Can he become something? Coming from Alabama, so he's coming from a Power 5 conference. I don't know why he's here this late, like, to be completely honest with you. I think it's just limited snaps. I mean, look at that. Look at his rank and look at his average draft position. I mean, and we'll get roasted by Pro Football Focus for this pick too. I think he's the guy here.
Yeah, I think that if just looking at his numbers, I think that that's a solid pick. Like, it just in the 7th round, I feel like you're going for, like, kind of like with Ford Wheaton, you're going for a guy with really high upside at that point. And this is a guy that looks like he has high upside at a position of need for the Browns. Like, obviously you're not expecting him to come in and be an all-pro or anything crazy, but can he come in and be a serviceable player? That's really all you really want from a guy in the 7th round. So I think that this guy has some of the intangibles. He has some of the statistics. And like you said, he comes from a Power 5 school. And, you know, the fact that he dropped this far might just have to do with the fact that he just doesn't have that many snaps. So I think that you put him in a system like the Browns, you put him in a rotation, and you develop him. I think that he could be a serviceable player. So I think that getting another defensive lineman is always going to be a big win for this draft, because I think that you just need more.
And keep in mind, like, there's no guarantee he makes the roster as a 7th round pick.
Yeah,
I don't think both Maurice Hurst and Tristan Hill make the roster either, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, great competition. So, yeah, we're going to take DJ Dale here with our last pick at 229, and then we'll see what Pro Football Focus gives us. By the way, they're going to slam us.
They're going to slam us, yeah.
Like, if you don't go exactly the way they want or the way they think, it's considered,
a D plus Dorian Williams and an F on Brenton Strange.
Hey man, I told you this was going to happen. Our overall grade's a C plus.
But you know, they did like the DJ Dale. They like DJ Dale, and they like the Nick Saldiveri, and obviously Jamie Robinson was a really good pick.
Yeah, I mean,
but they just did not like Brenton Strange. They were like, "What are you doing, picking this guy?"
They did not like that at all. Very surprised by the Zach Harrison grade. I thought we'd get a higher grade than that with getting him that late. Overall, guys, those are our picks. Dorian Williams, we went with him at with our first pick at 74. Jamie Robinson, we got him at pick 98, which to me is just an ultimate steal. Zach Harrison at 111 also seems like a steal to me. Deuce Vaughn at 128. Nick Saldiveri at 140. Bryce Ford Wheaton at 142. Brenton Strange at 190. And we rounded out with DJ Dale at pick 229. That was a lot of fun. Jack, I know we had a blast with it. I don't care what Pro Football Focus says. Y'all are the best. Thank you, Josh. We appreciate that, man. Like I said, guys, if you're joining us from Facebook or Twitter, thank you, guys. Just please go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel, which you can do so for free. Again, it's for free. We're trying to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of spring. And as soon as we get there, we're going to have another giveaway courtesy to our YouTube subscribers. So go over, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Drop a like on today's video, please. Help that YouTube algorithm grow and help Network 216 grow. That way, we don't have to do these shows at 9 o'clock at night. We can be doing these shows during the day, having content for you guys, endless content throughout the day and in the evening. It takes you guys helping that YouTube channel grow, helping that algorithm grow to make that happen.
This is all it takes. Just a like and a comment, man.
Truly, that's it. It's all it takes. Jack hit it on the head. Before we wrap things up, Jack, the weather, man. It's
the weather.
No, seriously. It's been crazy. I mean, last week I was in Tennessee, which is why we didn't have the show. We were all busy, I know. And dude, Tennessee, it was 90 degrees. But I'll tell you, I was wearing Homage the entire tire drive down and whatnot, dude. It kept me from just sweating even more than normal. Their shirts are so not only soft, but breathable fabric. And I think that's very important regardless of if it's warm or cold, especially when it's hot out, because spring's basically here. Summer's going to be here before we know it. And you got to make sure that you're staying cool out there when it's this hot.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now look, you're not going to believe me here. I am wearing an Homage shirt today.
Love
okay.
it.
And trust me, it was warm out today. I was out in the sun for a decent bit, and it does actually, you notice the difference between just like wearing any sort of other kind of shirt and wearing an Homage shirt. It's breathable, it's nice, and obviously mine's a bit generic. It's just Ohio, but you can't knock Ohio. But if you really wanted, obviously the Guardians just started up. Unfortunately, lost to the Yankees today. But I mean, if you've got any tickets to go there, it's good weather. It's great weather. You want to be able to wear nice, comfortable shirts while you're at the game. If you're going to the Cavs game over the weekend, you want to make sure that you're able to wear nice, comfortable stuff because, again, you don't know when the weather's going to turn. Hey, it's 75. You don't know when it's going to go back down to 40, and that's why I've already ordered a new Cavs hoodie. I already did. They have they have the BOGO deal going on right now. So, if you don't have any Homage stuff, you got to head over right now. Now's the best time to do it. You got a BOGO 40% off. Basically the entire store. You can get anything from your Guardians, your Cavs, your Browns. They have just a great selection, awesome shirts, basically any design you want, and they all are high quality.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Go check out Homage. I do believe they still have a deal going on if you are brand new to Homage and all you do is just type in your email address, sign up for their emails. I believe you still get 15% off your first order.
You do.
So go check them out. We're proud to be partners with Homage Athletic Apparel. You're not going to find any clothes that are more comfortable or durable, for one. They have something for every type of weather. And like Josh said, they do have stuff for WWE, for all you WWE fans out there. But for everyone that tuned into tonight's episode of the Faithful Dogs podcast, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate all your support. Be sure that you are supporting the Dog Chug tonight at 10 o'clock here on the Network 216 YouTube channel, as they're going to go over Browns, Cavs, and Guardians. Make sure you don't miss any of it. Again, be sure to subscribe to the channel for free. We can't wait to talk to you all again soon. And go Browns, baby.
Like, comment, and sub. Beat the Knicks.